before the babe get here, she gonna be on our tip, man. You know she gonna want to write about me and my man here, all kind of long articles.
Flash message, top secret, ultra.
Yeah, and when she does, and she puts his picture on paper, that's gonna be an secret exposed, his face for everyone to see, man. That's the whack, you know? Man, what the fuck you talking about, man? This gonna get my man big fame, man.
Arrange temporary transfer this agency.
If I do this interview,
Metal face
you know, will I get paid
Your
for it?
concurrence in the above is assumed.
Gee, where you get your information from? You're gonna get paid. You don't get paid.
FIM, FKM, DGYPCM effective immediately.
But he's not gonna get money. Yeah, but that's true what he said, man. I don't want my picture in the paper. Look, man, I know how to publicity.
Top secret, ultra, end of message.
Cash money for this. You might not get the money like right now, but you're gonna have money like Barry White, man. You can do all kind of crazy shit you wanna do when you get this publicity, man.
Now, who will be the first to tell me of a past adventure?
Why don't you tell him about the time we faced Doom?
All right. Well, as I remember, Doom had threatened the world leaders with destruction of every major city on Earth. Headquarters.
Good evening.
Would you believe it? It's Doom on the phone.
What's on your evil mind? Hold your insulting tongue and mark my words well. I have plotted my revenge on you. Now I shall have it. Bid farewell to your friends.
Doom hates us all. But in his warped mind, he has a personal score to settle with me.
Hey, yo, that's my word. New York, make all the noise you motherfucking can right now. Nah, fuck that, yo. Hey, yo, we want the villain out here right now. Right now. Right now.
A modern day Marvel, but terrible, better horrible. Once he grabbed the mic from Sun and crushed up all his metal corbels, said he ain't mean it, it was totally by accident. After the show, he didn't follow where y'all taxi went. Bullets be available on Wax Axe Max Mill. They all in opposition to his ass whack tax bill. But will it pass the Senate? Slumlord Tenant and the Super like 1A. Have a fun stay. One day, he plans to put in a runway. With enough land for his own projects, gunplay. Section 8 penthouse, made look like Faye Dunaway. A lot of rappers ass out like gay runaway. It's how they say, somehow risque. All day, every day, give out Emmys a quick way. Have an average MC say they need a sick day. It really ain't got shit to say like Timmy McVeigh. You know, Hunt's a real ragtag punch. The school he kept a do-rag in a bag lunch. Just to eat heads on some breakdance shit and spit. He writ this skit in Sanskrit. If the pants fit sportable, rock him low. Your man like Rollo on the slow, can't knock it though. It's like the same hustle, bro, till knuckles glow. Tuck in the cheek with the select, and then you buckle soul. Googly moogly, you see that loogie? Yeah, keep it on the DL Hillbilly. You don't watch it, he my houser like Doogie. Just to cut her Lucy like whoosh, it's a Roogie. Who he gumdrops, who he got his style from his pops. You gotta give the bump some props. Ask your sister, her beatbox more thicker. That cool man nigga, detox some more liquor. Villain for hire, admire the sound. Make sure the price is right before you come on down. Rappers be on some you. Forgot who they talking to. Too much pork stew. They need to not come out with nothing new. Blew the whole shit up on some what this button do. Doom shit the game like walkthrough. Run them, son up like Mr. Rocker do tattoo. The way a lot of clowns get down is unnatural. This flow flip like oranges, apples. Rhymes like limes to a lemonade snapple. Leave it at the chapel, don't eat scrapple. First thing they notice when they come through, they bling is gone. Then they start remembering the Klingon with the ring on. In came the villain with the old gear. Hi there, y'all play the rear this whole year. My year. Metal face beard like brittle pad. Y'all know his still so don't feel so bad. The scenes call him old dad, the one the old hoe had. Knew he was a winner since a swimmer in the gonad. Okay, pal, pay him like PayPal. So we can be A-OK, not okay, corral. I think today I make the ladies say, ow. Fuck around, take a bath.
Moonbeam levels.
Thank you very much for joining me from London town to you.
Thanks for the opportunity.
How is life over in Baltimore?
Everything's good over here. Just sliding into fall. The leaves are changing. It's getting a little cooler. Nice switch of seasons here. So.
It's so funny. Like, it's not like I didn't expect my neighbor to know of Doom, but he came back quite late from doing some training. He's trying to compete on an amateur level in boxing at the moment, so he came back quite late at 10 o'clock last night. So I called him at the door and told him what I'd been up to, and he's like, Doom, really? You serious? And he started telling me about an absurd existence, went straight into this internet channel, YouTube channel, which I had landed on inadvertently. Big stop off for him. So he's like, yeah, no, you must let me know about what's going on with the podcast when it's done. I want to listen to it. But it's good to know the legend lives on, and you can go next door and somebody's listening to the same music.
That's the thing about Doom. He has fans from so many different quarters. You know, he's not just known in hip hop. So many random people know about him, and you know, because he's such an interesting character, such a compelling character. You know, he's kind of transcended hip hop, as I like to say.
Obviously, you start off with some of your favorite tracks or touching points, but he immediately started talking about merchandise to me. And I was like, okay, because it was never really a big thing for me. Obviously, the mask is such a great insignia of who he is, but the merchandise side, the physical product side of Doom goes way beyond that, as we've seen recently, obviously, with all the chat on the internet and on Twitter about Gladiator 2 and the mask.
It's funny. I recently joined all these Doom groups on Facebook just to, you know, I figure I'll just like make a post about the book just to let people know it's coming. And you're right. Like most of his fans are more concerned about merch, like the new Doom shoes or the new mask. I posted a link for the book and I got like one love, and that was it. Like no one even checked it out.
Yeah, what a surprise. People aren't reading that much.
His fans are also funny because, like, you know, people want to know about Doom, but then, like, when you provide information, people are like, oh, you know, it's like, there's a fine line to tread, you know, there with Doom's fans. It's like they want information, but then they kind of want to preserve the mystique.
Yeah, it's counterintuitive. I mean, I'm just thinking about what I just said to you, and you would imagine that a fan of Doom would be very appreciative of the written word, right? Of lyricism. So I don't think it's so much a case of people not reading. I think it's you have to just catch people at the right time, and the message needs to be shaped in the right way. I guess with it's an element of marketing involved in promotion. I think having time to really consider something you're interested in right now is so difficult. It's so fleeting. Like life is so congested, which is why I love just picking up a book and just disappearing down that well. It really is the best way to immerse yourself. Outside of watching a film, I'm a huge film fan. I think it's the best way to really immerse yourself. Just let the author take you.
I totally agree.
Before we get into Doom specifically, I wanted to ask you, what was your experience of writing this book? Because it's your third book, right? And for a journalist hoping to make the leap today, how does it work? How do you go about that task once the idea has been greenlit? I'm wondering about your researching, your interviewing, the process.
Okay, well, I can tell you about the process behind this book. I had just finished writing a book about Wu-Tang called From the Streets of Shaolin, the Wu-Tang Saga. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I turned that manuscript in on January 1st, 2021. The day before, on December 31st, 2020, I, like the rest of the world, found out that Doom had passed. And I was like utterly shocked because I was like, wow, this guy's, first of all, he's younger than me. You know, he's very active. He's very prolific. I was like kind of blown away that he was gone, you know, and immediately I started listening to all the podcasts that came out immediately after his death. And even though I was a Doom fan, you know, I've been a fan of Doom since he was Zev Love X for KMD. You know, that's how far I go back with hip hop. I'm in Doom's generation. I'm a Gen X kid, you know, first generation to grow up immersed in hip hop. So basically, we have you know, we led parallel lives in a way. And then, you know, I started a label in the 90s called Word Sound. So I was putting out a lot of independent hip hop, including my own. So I found out about Doom's passing when everyone else did. And then I started just organically listening to the podcast and finding out more about him. I was like, wow, this guy's got an amazing story, because how did he go from being this young high school rapper to get a major label deal. And then all of a sudden he's gone, whoosh, for years. He disappeared for years. No one knew what he was doing. And then he reinvents himself and comes back as MF Doom. How many people are able to do that, to have a shot at putting an album out on a major label, and then their whole career is kind of destroyed, and then they're able to come back? That's a very rare story in the music industry, because the music industry is filled with casualties and one-hit wonders, and it basically just chews people up and spits them out. And you have to be very lucky to have any longevity in the music business, because it's one of the most cutthroat industries out there. So immediately Doom had my attention. Like, how was he able to do that? And it was just very natural, organic. I just kind of digging into his story and finding out more and more. And then finally I was like, you know what? This guy deserves a book. This guy's incredible. Sure, I was a fan of his music, but I didn't know all of this stuff about his personal life and how he was able to really come back from all of this tragedy. So I basically started working on a book proposal, which is what you need to shop a book. In the industry, it's called an overview essay. And it was, roughly about a 30-page outline of the book that you want to write. I took a few months, put together all the information that I had, kind of devised a structure, which is the way the book ended up in those 5 sections: the man, the myth, the mask, the music, the legend. The book is divided into those 5 sections. And I basically then I started compiling a list of people I would need to talk to, because obviously Doom's not around anymore. I did access all of his interviews that are open source on the internet, and there's plenty of them. But then I also went the extra mile, and I contacted people who were either collaborators or friends or family. And I did a good 6 to 10 months of interviews just before even writing, trying to contact people, trying to search them down. A lot of times people were very forthcoming and spoke to me. Sometimes they didn't. Sometimes it took some convincing to get people to talk. Because as you know, Doom himself was very low key, everything on a need to know basis. And his inner circle was very respectful of that. And they didn't want to talk to me unless I had Jasmine's blessing. Jasmine is Doom's wife. And she's also very, very kind of reclusive, hard to talk to. I don't think she's ever given any interviews. And, I should say up front that this was an unauthorized biography, which means that I did not have the blessing of the Doom estate. And to me, that's actually not a bad thing, because when you do a biography about a person, you need to be able to talk about everything about that person: the good, the bad, the ugly. No one's an angel, no one's a perfect human being. And you need to be able to reflect that, And at the same time, I wasn't trying to do a Doom hit piece. I'm coming at this project from the standpoint of a fan who also happens to be a journalist. So I know how to get information on people,
Yeah, it's an interesting point you make about unauthorized biographies and books. I think it brings a certain rigor to the table, doesn't it? Or certain integrity, in the sense that sometimes you can be beholden.
Oh yeah, of course. You don't want to write a puff piece that the family or the estate has, final say over what appears. You want to give a true representation of the person. Even with the Wu-Tang book, that was unauthorized. But, in that case, I had like years of hanging out with the guys, years of being in the studio, going out to the Wu Mansion, all of that stuff. They knew me personally, face to face. With Doom, it was a challenge, because I had never interviewed Doom before, even though I knew all of the journalists who did interview him. And I knew a lot of the people who put out his music, because being an independent record label owner, I was within that milieu, and I knew everyone who had put out his records. And in fact, I approached Doom much later on, when he was living in London, to actually do a collaboration. And at that point, he was already signed to Lex and everything like that, and it didn't happen. But doing a book is not a small thing. It takes years to do. And you have to have the passion for your subject to be able to carry you through all of that. Because a lot of times you're not making any money. You're just doing this stuff on spec until you get a book deal. After I had written a proposal, like a 30-page outline, I submitted that to my agent. And then he was able to take that around and submit it to publishing companies. And eventually I got a deal with Astra House in the US. And then they got a sub deal through Faber in the UK. A lot of people don't understand the publishing industry and they think, oh, is his family getting a cut of the book? No, they're not, because they really had nothing to do in putting together this book. This was all me, an independent person, just taking the initiative and just researching the topic, by interviewing people, by doing online research. And this was over 3-4 years, so any money that I get is basically paying my rent for those years that I'm working on the book. And when you're working on a book, it's a full-time proposition, especially in the writing process, which took about 1.5 years. That's every day showing up at your desk in front of your computer, and you're cranking out pages. On my worst days, I would crank out maybe a page. On my best days, maybe 5 pages,
No, I think a lot of writers out there will feel you on that. It's torturous to do what we do.
In a way it is. The secret is you have to love your topic. And that's what I had, because I was spending all my time with Doom and his music.
Which hopefully sustains and feeds the culture, doesn't it?
Exactly. This is my gift to the other Doom fans. So that's how I look at it. It's my way of paying tribute to Doom too, because he's an artist that definitely deserves a lot more attention in hip hop today. Hip hop today is pop culture, and a lot of rap, in my opinion, is crap. Let's focus on the people, like on the Dooms of the world, who have a lot of integrity and who are doing this as art. They're not just doing it for entertainment. This is artistic pursuit too. We've lost sight of that. So it's like,
which is something we'll get into shortly, because I am curious about the whole characterization of him, or rather Doom as a man of many characters, and how he cultivated that through conversations, through interviews, and obviously in the music. Before we get there, maybe let's talk a little bit about KMD. Where do you think KMD sit in the pantheon of hip-hop groups, and how influential was that group experience in the evolution of the artist Doom?
Well, at the time, during the time that KMD came out, we already had a crew or collective called the Native Tongues, which was basically the Jungle Brothers, De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest. And you could put Black Sheep in there too. You could put Leaders of the New School in there. But it was basically this new movement in hip hop at the turn of the 90s. It was this Afrocentric kind of bohemian streak of hip hop, which was in stark contrast to the gangster rap that was coming out of the West Coast at the same time. Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg were kind of popping around the same time. KMD had put out a pretty well-received album called Mr. Hood in 1990 after Doom's appearance on the Gas Face for Third Base. They were able to spin off a deal, for KMD.
I wish I could go along with you, but I do have a problem. I've got my... but I can't find my... damn hoe! Hot damn! Damn hoe! Hot damn! Damn hoe! Hot damn!
Poor X. Not only do a head sweat from headsets, full-time error commit X from knocking Z's correct. Next steps to count sheep, but too many sheep ain't jumping hurdles, they sleep. Yeah, they sleep. I think I'll check a shorter story titled Bo's Hole. Sounds boring. Perfect for these sleepless nights, though I feel quite overaged. Yeah, I know. Turn the page.
Let's begin.
Book marks the first page and reads once upon an age in a far, far land lived 3 farmers. Tom, Sam, and Bo, of course. From behind Tom's black fence, Tom peeks across just to witness Sam's crop business. business booming like the big guys. But get this, Sam sold to uncles and cousins, part-time crams. He sold his to get a fence like Sam. Pimps too, Sam used to sight. One goes at Bo's over his pick and right. Slowly he peeks only to see Bo planting sweet potatoes with his brand new hoe. Bo sees Sam but's not fretting, more sweating, thinking about stepping to the crib, forgetting about his brand new hoe. Or Mickey D would say Sam's tricky. The plot thickens on the page 3. Sun's up, sky's blue. What's more fitting than cock-a-doodle-doo? All three knew this tune more than well. Sure beats alarm bells, they induce head swells. Well, clock says Sam's off the 10 to his crop. Time says farmer, time's off the mop. Bows up and at him, then twitches one eye for something here is not quite cipher. E-I-E-I-O, screamed Bo. Left on my lawn, now it's gone was my hoe. Oh, woe is me, how will I ever plant seeds? Lay the fertilizer, dig up the weeds, plus make true my foremost desire to get a picket fence and trash a chicken wire. By 100% life gets hard when one hoe goes from one's garden.
I can't find my... I can't find my...
Page 4, Little Bo weeped, clear tears from eyes, then Little Bo peeked through a hole in Sam's 6-foot fence where Sam was seen planting tall and short pea plants. Hence the moral of the fable, always keep a boring book on your night table. A time is not able, but when you grow up to be a farmer, keep an eye on your yard, cause with no hoe it's hard.
And that was a very well-received album. It was kind of in the same vein as the Native Tongues, kind of quirky, playful hip-hop, a whole kindler, gentler form of hip-hop. And at the time, you know, I was writing for all the hip-hop magazines, The Source and all of that. And I remember at the time, there was a big buzz on the second KMD album, Black Bastards, because this was a group that had a lot of promise. And I remember getting the cassette tape of the Advance in May 1994, just days before the album was supposed to come out. And this was a banging album. This was like totally different from KMD's Mr. Hood when they were just kind of naive high school kids. Now they had been in the industry, they had been touring, they had been around other groups, and now they were growing up in the game. And Black Bastards kind of reflected that. It was a little more harder, a little more aggressive. Still playful and quirky, but there was a lot of kind of subterfuge going on and subversion beneath the surface. There was a little more angst.
I saw the thunder and heard the lightning and felt the lightning.
Check it, watch it, beep it, check it. I'm on the low like a sneaky ass nigga. X the unseen coming like the night nigga. So start panicking, I'ma crack this Heineken. Suckers is froze like mannequins, so no shenanigans. Bucko, I'm rugged like stone face or stucco. So fuck it, the mic is in my knuckles, so I keep a fist full of profits. My grip is on my pistol in pocket. Niggas be blowing but be annoying like whistle rockets. This one goes out to all you suckers, you don't know me. I never OG on my diet of codeine and OE. X embezzling fat checks and cash is okay. Fucking with the system like a rasp, but I don't say it out loud. I read my hit list while I check shit. A nigga never lived to hear me diss him on no record. The month's up, now watch the bleed for 7 days. The body autopsy said he was killed in 7 ways. Nowadays, tell me what lady don't get it. Listen to BLS, you just might catch the radio edit. I got the good news, so watch the happy story end like Colin Ferguson or Jack Kevorkian, and you don't quit.
I saw the thunder and heard the lightning and felt the burden of his day. I saw the thunder and heard the lightning and felt the burden of his day.
Who will
alive in World War III? None. Who got a style that come close to me? None. Niggas screaming battle, who stepped to me? None. To all you fakers, it's time to meet your maker. Rap's incarceration, I'm a threat to population. Blowing MCs in the yard, who's hard to sent to isolation. Breaks a rattle, with recreational mental meditation. World War III is me, so man your battle station. The Reaper lyrics away beyond the limits of human endurance. The Raptor stars shot down for assurance. I keep my ugly rhymes in the cellar of my cranium, where no one can see them or hear cry for freedom. Chopped up raw thoughts, the only thing I feed them. Release the beast from the cellar when I need them. Dwell underground like chud. Love letters, written on paper bags, ink and blood. I gotta slay ways of genocide, defeat, dodge bullets, blue sparks glowing off the fucking concrete. Even if it's not your beef, you're stressed, cause bullets go homeless, and homeless need a place to rest. So is it heaven or hell, G? Because your mark is well beat. Will not be able to sew that hole in your chest and back. Coffin looks like a car, it's kitted, piping tinted, and also painted triple black. Sad songs to your savior, to sacrifice your soul, but prayers fail. Cause God moves like a snail, so death prevails. You're deader than a doornail, lips blue, skin pale, all hail grip.
I remember hearing that album, I was like, wow, this is going to be a banging album. And then guess what? A few days later, they shelved it. The label Elektra shelved it. I talk about that whole thing in the book because of controversial cover art. And it's like, wow, these guys were just robbed. You know, they were just robbed because they had a very promising career. And obviously Sub Rock, who was Doom's younger brother, died during the making of that album. That was with the first blow. And then, you know, they lose the deal. And after that, Doom disappears. It's like KMD had so much promise in the music game. And I'm so glad that Doom wasn't so he was depressed and disheartened, and it took years to get over that. But I'm so glad that he didn't give up. You know, he reinvented himself and he came back as MF Doom.
I like how there's little chapters or little aspects of his career which are also open to interpretation. So in 2 or 3 separate interviews, I've heard that period, that transformation referred to as a comeback. Others consider it revenge.
Yes, yeah, sure. If you look at it through the lens of Dr. Doom, you know, the comic book character who Doom was obviously influenced by, but when you talk to Doom, he doesn't say it was revenge, you know, like Doom, there's a clear separation between Daniel Dumile and the characters that he creates. So sometimes when you're interviewing him, you're interviewing Daniel Dumile, the writer or the director, you know. Sometimes he's in character in these interviews, you know. I remember one great interview that he did with CMJ where he does it as King Geedorah. You know, the 3-headed reptilian dragon from outer space. And it's just...
Follow the light. The light is your guide. I'm controller of planet X.
3-3.
And I've invited you here to discuss something that's very important.
King Geedorah, take me to your leader. Quick to claim that he not no snake like me neither. They need to take a breather. He been rhyming longer than Sigmund the Sea Creature. Been on Saturday feature. Pleased to meet ya. And came to wake you up out the deep sleeper. Like he needed to stop before he caught the knee drop. Even give you more sit than ZZ Top. When full bears thou shalt not more corner. Geedorah like one more steps in y'all's corners. So-called rich front if you wanna. When he spit electrics, don't be in y'all saunas. He only here to warn us what the plan is. The hour is up on us, it's bananas. Born alone, die alone, no matter who your man is. Hope he live long enough to tell it to his grandkids. King Geedorah, 3-finger ring fever. Spring chicken eater, ID'd as the ringleader. Who needs a heater? Catch him with bare hands. These same hands that make razors out beer cans. His own biggest fan.
and got a fan base as big as Japan. Yeah, and all hail the king, and give him 3 cheers, fam. Like hit hit parade, do his thing for the little kings like Sling Blade. To the grave, put in work like a slave on how to flip scripts on the Dipstick Brigade. Rock 'em like studio played. Back when we used to rock the shag, no fade. This skill trade like a tailor-made suede. Hit the studio, and I'm paid. Half up front, half upon mastering. Would you like that in cash? Last thing you should ask the king. You don't have to be no crystal ball reader. Allergic to saltpeter, used to be a wall beater. In the game like a Wall Street cheater. A lot of rap noise is annoying like cedar. Turn into a triple X monster from a fairy tale movie. He don't know me very well, do he? King Geedorah crushed on the seas teacher. They need to pay him better, she had nothing on the reefer. Heifer, and I had to offer her a stick of gum. She was as thick as they come and taught a strict curriculum, which is only good for my son. When I'm in the hood, razors on tongue. Nowadays it's amazing raising young. Rule number 1, keep your phasers on stun.
It's just incredible that this guy has got such a vivid imagination. That's what's missing in the world today. Imagination, you know? And that's what artists provide the world. They provide a vision, an imagination. And now it's just so, everything in the world is just so degraded to nothing. You know, it's like at the beginning of this conversation, we were talking about how arts coverage is so non-existent now, and funding for the arts. And we need that back. You know, we need that back because as human beings, we need this. We need to see beautiful things. We need art. You know, it's like all of the empires of yore, from the Egyptians to the Romans, they were known for their art and their architecture. What have these modern empires provided us with? Just crap, garbage. You know, the American empire is just, you know, pumping this garbage pop culture into the world. It's just, you know, it's...
Yeah, and I think capitalism has got its claws into Western society in particular in such deeper ways now, to the point where people feel pressured to be visible, to always be producing. And the more pressure you feel in that regard, the more derivative your ideas are likely to become. This is why I like the idea of someone going away,
exactly,
thinking about what they care about, what moves them, what they've experienced, and then translating that into art, into original art.
Exactly. And that's exactly what Doom did. You know, he took a minute to kind of go back to the drawing board. He was like, after his first experience in the music industry, he was like, nah, I'm not doing it like this. He had his little brush with fame. He saw what that was all about. And he said, all right, I'm going to go strictly underground. And he did that. And he still made a huge impact. You know, I would say as many people know about Doom as they know about Drake. The only difference is Drake is still alive. He's still able to make music. Doom left us a huge body of music to dig into. That's what I want people to get into, because they're, you know, even though he might have done this music already, it's just sitting out there, and it's like we haven't really dug into that yet. And there's so much value in all of this stuff that he has produced and created. To me, he's someone who represents the raw essence of hip hop, coming from the golden era, because he's a Gen X kid like myself who was totally immersed in hip hop. So in that era, the 3 things that really mattered was creativity, originality, and innovation. Okay. If you look at all the hip hop that came up from like the late 80s through the 90s, it all shares those 3 things, you know? And that's why that music is still relevant today. That's why I can be, in my 50s and have my 20-year-old nephew listening to 90s hip hop because its quality doesn't go out of style. And the same thing with Doom's music. That stuff, I had a college friend of mine call me recently. We're in our 50s. His 14-year-old daughter's a huge Doom fan. So he called me and asked me to autograph a book for her. I was like, and that made me feel so good because that tells me that the youth of today know what's up. They know how to spot good music. And this little girl who's 14, she might have not even been around when Doom was still alive and doing his thing, but she somehow discovered his music. And that makes me feel good, because everything is like, there's so much hype and everything's kind of forced down our throats. And Doom is the kind of artist that you have to kind of discover and you have to come to him on your own. But once you find that, you got a friend for life, because this is music that really speaks to people. That's why he has so many crazy fans, because everyone who's a Doom fan thinks that he's speaking directly to them. Doom had some kind of magnetic charisma to be able to do that. How many other rappers are thought of in that same way?
I had lots of moments like that trawling through YouTube comments, which is one of my favorite pastimes. You got people who sound as though they're no older than teenage years, like going, "Oh, I only discovered this music like 1 year ago, bro. This is crazy."
Right. And it quality doesn't go out of style,
Yeah.
Moonbeam levels.
Yeah, I just wanted to quote something from the book, actually, in regards to mythology, because we were talking about it a fair bit.
Mm-hmm.
David Callett, you quote in the book on Godzilla's mythology, and I found this bit really interesting. You write, perhaps in some way the fictional construct of Godzilla helped provide a metaphor to show that great forces can have both good and bad effects on the world without being all of one or the other. My question out of that was, where do you think Doom's complex morality and this whole concept of supervillainy comes from in terms of his own life experience? Was he just creating those characters to keep things interesting, or do you think it was something deeper than that?
Oh, I think it was definitely something deeper, but I can definitely also identify where he got that from. From the whole, it's really from the whole Marvel universe. That's why I kind of went into Dr. Doom's backstory so deeply, because Marvel kind of created the template of this complex anti-hero, who could be good or bad depending on what perspective you took. And to me, that's a very realistic portrayal of life, because as human beings, no one's perfect. We're all trying to do the best we can, but at the same time, we all embody both God and the devil in one being. We have the ability to do such good, and we have the ability to do such bad. And you can see that playing out in the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that dichotomy. And another thing that you can see in the world right now is how stuff that you think is good is not really good, and stuff that you think is bad is not entirely bad. Yeah, I hate to talk about politics and bring in this whole situation that's going on in the Middle East, but it's like there's a perfect analogy of this, The group that we're told is good and is defending themselves is creating sheer hell.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the group that we're told is supposedly the axis of evil is like basically defending the people who are the actual victims in all of this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Doom kind of got into that type of dichotomy with his whole supervillain persona. And for Doom, it kind of extended into Black America and the way Black people, especially Black men, are looked at or perceived in America. You have politicians calling Black youth supervillains or super predators. And I think the whole concept of the supervillain is kind of based on that. America looks at us like we're the villain, but we're really the victim in all this. We're just trying to do the best we can. It all depends on your perspective, really.
Yeah, I remember him saying in the Red Bull interview with Jeff, he said, "I come at things from a different point of view. Artists get pigeonholed. Everything flows better when I've got multiple characters to portray the story.
Yeah, and that allows him to express different perspectives that might not even be his own.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's what a writer does. A novelist creates different characters, but it's really the writer who's at the center of all those characters, you know? But to create compelling characters is not an easy thing to do. And Doom is one person in hip hop who's been able to do that several times. You know, all of his characters are compelling. From Doom to Vic Vaughn.
Hey, Vic, I've been going over some of your notes, and I'm afraid you're a couple of decimal points off on some of your figures.
Out! I have no time for you.
Okay, find out for yourself.
Longer if you take a picture. It's Viktor the Slickster. I pick her, sip slit small liquor. Still up in the mixture like a fixture. Y'all seen the sticker with the sick feeling, Vikster. He stack chips by any which way and keep black lips. Fuck what any bitch say. It ain't no time for no tit for tat. Y'all better aim for the head, just don't hit the fitted hat. When it's his time to go, it's his time to go. As for right now, though, the hour show rhyme flow. He got more of those than lines for dime hoes that act fancy. And more clothes than Delancey. Don't let him house you out on Houston or catch you downtown on Broadway browsing. Whoever got the most bags get followed. Give it up or get you in the old hag hollow. It's Viktor the Slickster.
Watch out, you ain't seen shit. Smash. Watch out. You ain't seen shit, yes. You ain't seen shit. Smash. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. Smash. Watch out.
It's like limbo. How low can you go? V go lower than your bimbo pantyhole. Damn, yo, I say that's pretty damn low. In the city streets with more ammo than Rambo. Hambo, y'all don't want V in it. Make the coolest cat piss his coochie in a minute. When he blow and get ballin' at the top slot, 20 G's ahead for whoever calling cop shot. Pop snot.
Watch out! Watch out! Hand over the map. Watch out! Watch out! Smash! You ain't seen shit yet. Smash!
Tender-headed, get they wig split with folk sheen. V manufacture gun cleaning kits for codeine. Party people ask him how you so mean and still quiet. Could it be the codeine in your diet? I'm like, what I look like? Doctor, let the pork stop. I got the clear meat, the vodka. Cork top, step up the hustle like the new guy. Gun busting and drugs, the penalties too high. Makes you wonder who they speak for. It's only one side benefiting off the street war. And it's heat galore just to make it better. Many go and stab their own man up like Jacob Ladder. I still worry when I'm out on the hot. Drill an ill flurry that might bop your knot. I feel the Bill Murray get more run than the Wop got. Shop for a yacht. Clock, pop, snot. Clock, clock, clock.
Geedorah, to even some of the lesser known things like Sci-Fly was an early, pseudonym of his that he didn't really use very much. But Doom was not limited. He was very open-minded. That's how you see his open-mindedness is in all these different characters. Because they're all coming from the same place, but he's able to express different points of view.
He was definitely ahead of the game, wasn't he, in this notion of multiple selves in music? I mean, I sat in on this discussion last week. It's a slight tangent, but I wanted to get your opinion on it. I sat on this discussion last week about the post-individualist age. I don't know if that phrase means anything to you, but it's basically a sense of people rejecting the pursuit of, or the projection of oneself, or the goal of authenticity in favor of multiple selves online. So leaning into fantasy a little bit more, feeling the need to show different sides of themselves from like a creative standpoint or a social standpoint, or even something more metaphysical, to seek greater meaning in different identities. I mean, we've had artists like that before, haven't we, in music, alter egos. We've had Prince, we've had Bowie, we've had Tyler, Madlib.
Sure. Yeah, there have been plenty of David Bowie. I mean, he was the master of multiple identities. But what this is really, as human beings too, we are multidimensional. Everyone that you know in your life is going to see you slightly differently. So we do embody very, very many different identities in one body. And Doom was just kind of expressing that through his art in a different way.
I watched this interview earlier this morning, and I'm picking up on it because you mentioned the word director. And that's how Doom positioned himself, I suppose, in relation to the discussion about his shows, his attendance level, the notion of the Doom bots and the imposters. I mean, having completed the book now and sat with the material, what's your take on the infamous imposters he would send out to play in shows? I mean, you quote Doom saying everything is villain style and it's all open to interpretation. Was it merely a publicity stunt that got out of hand, or a way to, profit from more bookings?
I think it was many things. It was a publicity stunt. It was performance art. It was a way for him to get money when he was sick and he really needed it. Now we've kind of pulled the cover back and we can see his motivations for doing some of that stuff.
Yeah,
and we can see that at the time that was going on, he was having health issues and he couldn't be in all the places that he meant to be. But at the same time, he was commanding greater fees for his performances. So, why wouldn't he do something like that? Because as far as he was concerned, to his fans, everyone, the mask represented him. I say that in the book. At a certain point, the mask took on an identity of itself. It became bigger than even Doom. So in that case, he's like, hey, why not do this? It's never been done before. Why not try to do it? And he successful, to me, in my opinion, he successfully did it because he didn't damage his brand in any way, because actually more people showed up at his shows because they wanted to see if it was going to be the real Doom.
If he turn up.
So it was a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Moonbeam levels.
It's wild to me how symbolic an item, an object, the mask became. I like the idea of the Red Bull interview again was so meaningful to me as someone who loves just truth telling in hip hop and people just basically being real, I guess. And his whole argument about the mask in that interview is that anybody can wear the mask, really. It's not really about me. It's not about what I look like. It's what I say. It's about the music.
Right.
It resonated big time.
Yeah. I mean, what other artists come out like that? He was in a class by himself, really.
Did you ever see him live? I was playing his performance from Scribble Jam the other day, which I'd never seen before. I didn't even know it was up from 2003. It was on loop. And
back to back.
Yo, I like to say big up to all them Cincinnati massive. And beware before I triple dare you like the last kid. He asked me, well, we don't got that you got, son. For one flow, that's elementary, my dear Watson. And secondly, ever since I was little, not so much to riddle, at least rhyme to the syllable. I keep tracks and make an A-rap thief clack. With no hands, I chop these drums off truly yours, G-rap. Actual fact, relax. In this land of lyrical lost black, not the cool sleeve stack. The one who might stop and talk to you. Poison's a few dudes who be biting styles I'm like talk to. What you got to lose, let mud fly. Once I got the blues, I chew whole crews that's blood dry. So I ask why the stars from the set should be fucking with my eye. As I pull it to the chest, the super motherfucking villain grip the mic with an iron hand. Throwing them seeds to the fire from out the frying pan. It ain't no use in trying, fam, so stop crying. Frontin' like you justifying, need to stop lying. Speak your piece, only once you're spoken to first. Now let me hear your verse while I'm yoking you with what refined rhymes like an editor. Throw them to my collection of skulls and spines like Predator. Fuck around, the only dudes who can hear the same sound as who? Jet Jaguar who? And I'm glad I took the time to write their names down, just to big them up. I like to say hi, it's I Fly, the R. Merlin. That's quick to whip up a script like Rod Serling. Who I own bad bitch, who used to whip the Sterling. Who seen God told but never seen God early. My man Grip had this little monkey like Space Ghost. Me, myself, got flavors I'll taste most. With numb gums, some ramen is late toast. Back to you, Doom, you late show host. S to the U to the P-E-R-A, who chronicle these times in the 3D horror. Thriller, Pono, co-starrer in a realer drama. Who break bread with stingy kidman, Indian borrower. The lone gunman who candidly flip fly flows single-handedly with one eye closed in a fly pose. No shirt, a lay may see me stack the $250,000 cash pay. That's in a spit-ass way. How we did it. Motherfuckers couldn't keep the shit past the first minute. That's called go with the flow, for those who don't know. And I'ma keep it flowing. Can I continue on? Oh, y'all live. I ain't even gotta ask y'all twice. Oh, shit. I re-up on bad dreams, back up screens and 50s. Be up on mad schemes that he shop like Jiffy. In an instant, get smoked like Winston cigarettes. Hoes get ripped off like Nicorette. In real life, the real trife scene. Might snatch a life like assault machine. Rifle, get up, set up like bullfight. Be flooded how will I couldn't wide away full flight. The unemotional, call me antisocial. On the run, off the gun, Death Tally commercial. Death Valley is like rehearsal to the streets. To my peeps, Big Ben, MF on the beat. These rhymes is chosen like the weapons of war. To keep from stepping on my floor or delivery front door. I bring it to y'all motherfuckers, master yours. My disaster cause, hell.
I saw him back in the day at one of the New Eurekan shows.
Oh, wow.
In New York, yeah. I think it was like I was in New York till like, I think it was in like '99. He actually used to perform there quite a lot. I never saw the first show, because the first show he had a stocking cap.
That's right.
I think I talk about that in the book.
Yeah.
This was before the mask. But he did do shows there with the mask eventually. Yeah. So.
And I like it how he was a man of principle, right? Because he wouldn't do it until he knew that Ghost had stopped wearing the stocking, right?
Yep. And that goes back to the golden era of hip hop. No biting. No copying someone else, you know? He was firm about that.
I got a chance to listen to the Changing the Hip Hop Girl podcast that you guested on recently. You said in that writing this book gave you a chance to really immerse yourself in the music. Mm-hmm. What things hadn't you listened to for a while made the biggest impression? Things that hit different when you were writing the book? Was there anything that sprung to mind?
I hadn't listened to his latter albums. I'm talking about from JJ Doom, Key to the Cuffs, to Born Like This, to the Czarface albums. I hadn't listened to, I'm familiar with everything, all his early work up through Mad Villainy and everything, Food. But those latter albums I hadn't listened to before the book. And to me, those are some of my favorites, especially Born Like This and Key to the Cuffs, because you can see an artist who's really reaching for something new and expanding his repertoire. With those latter albums, you see a guy who was pushing himself to new stuff. to rap on new type of beats. You know, even like more electronic sounding, more experimental stuff.
Melanin on melanin, your dude need to recharge off your velvet skin. Make him feel like 12 again. Soon as you give the green light, I'm delving in. Melanin on melanin, your fella need to recharge off your velvet skin. Make me feel like I'm 12 again. Soon as you give the green light, I'm delving in. Learn to balance, it's real tricky. It's like the credible Hulk turned back to Bill Bixby. Fuck masturbating, I'd rather wait than keep enough of that good stuff for the trading in. Each and every day, making cash with Satan. Can't eat, can't sleep, it's exasperating. Mad light burning off, all he need is one warm hug to keep from turning off. I'm sure you could use a boost. Left the hoopty parked in the hood with the screws loose. Bust the coupe out the driveway, stash house. Scoop you up, hit the highway and mash out. Matte black like melanin on melanin. Of course the butter soft, black leather trim, set of rims. Let her purr, not a scratch on it. Spin it back to the garage and put a latch on it. I need a handful of melanin, feeling like the lamb's wool beard on your tender skin. It might give you a shock initially as we reconnect up the flow electricity. The phenomenal melanin by a polymer, follow with a glass of Merlot, I could swallow her. Eat her up like a snack well, we could live forever like Henrietta Lacks cells. Melanin on melanin, ask me where the hell I've been soon as I felt her skin. Holding hands, feet in the sand grounded, staring in them pretty brown eyes astounded. I'll share some solar power if you let me pound it, we could go for hours. And then again in the shower, left her leg trembling, recharge the melanin.
Again, all humans are melanin dependent, and it doesn't matter whether you were born and reared in Denmark or born and reared in Kenya at the equator. You have to have melanin, and it is controlling all of the systems in your body. For you not to have a direct conscious relationship with your melanin is going to cost you your life.
Than the blood in your stool, the way it repeats could trick you like a stuttering fool, uttering butter king jewels. His mother been cool, schooled her how to wash away the crud in the drool pool. Made his chrome dome glisten. At first he couldn't tell she had a chromosome missing. Kept a spare somewhere in these underwear. He swear it helped her get the gum out her hair. They need to get their thumb out their rears and show some skills the one time they come out in years. Instead of dumbing out in fears of their own shadow. In a game that swell them up to dead them like cattle. Take your rattle and skedaddle before you get a whipping with the pen and pad paddle. Ghouls got a model in gear. He came with more rhymes than molecules in air.
Special request all the girl from North south, east and west. From the body look good, I know you have the God bless. Rock wine, rock a man's spine. Watch right now.
Man, if I bring out a man tonight's on a special night, we do it something like this.
The track was like a thorn in his back. As for the rhymes, I'll give y'all fair warning, it's crack. Whoever start to smoke it, come back. Quit or catch a heart attack up in some bum shack. Sharper than a thumbtack. His body was a temple made of chemicals to the dimple. To him still it wasn't so simple. Kept his right and left hand beefing. One knocking teeth in, the other one chiefing. But first, the song will make you wanna stomp your 10 toes. Souped up hoopty pinto off a pimp my whip. Before they put the system in and had it all stripped. There ain't no need to trip. Indeed, he ripped scripts from here to Jabip. Get a grip, leave it a dag mess for beer. Burning like a bag of swag cess in the air. Front the store where it's more cold. Made more gold probably than all the box of horse sold. Cop, threw some rocks up under the door mold. Fiend picked the lock, squat, shit was a floor closed. Villain. More racks than triple X pornos. One fall through the crack and coming back to get all those. They're lying straight face, stay intact with a long nose. You can't change that, you know how the song goes. Thicker than the spinners when dudes was rolling pinners and dirt weed. Vanilla envelopes, 10-4 TV dinners. We're all beginners, touch soil in the winter. Stats box of fresh Tim's top grill, all glimmers. Shine, blur in your eye if you're trying to fly. Could be your turn to fry if you burn the pie. Bye.
D-O-P-E, and I'm going to show you how. Don't you do D-O-P-E, and he's hammered on his tiptoes, no less.
To me, that's a mark of a real artist, you know, someone who doesn't rest on their laurels, someone who's constantly reaching for something new, something more. He was always getting more and more experimental. And I think if he was still alive, I wouldn't know what to expect from Doom. You have to respect that. You have to respect that
100%
amongst artists because the great majority don't. Once they get some acclaim or some recognition, they kind of stick to the formula that got them there in the first place. You know?
I've read a lot of support for your opinion that Born Like This is underrated, which I agree with as well. I mean, I remember getting it when it was sent as a promo when I was writing at the time. I loved it from the first listen, but it was a different kind of a slower burn appreciation for it, I guess, than something like Mad Villainy.
Right. Yeah.
Because it was left, right? It was left. It was moving.
Definitely left. It was definitely left down to all the artwork and everything. I love the story behind the artwork,
which you detail really well in the book. Actually, that's one of my favorite pieces of description, I guess, about artwork in the book.
That shows the qualitative approach that goes into a Doom record. He wanted to have complete creative control even over the artwork over that. And it took some time to kind of let EH ? Do it. But I think every element of that album was just really approached as this is art. Really, we don't have that, in my opinion, in music anymore. It's just more of a product. More and more music is just like a disposable product.
I think a good distinction, even though it's completely different lanes musically, is what we witnessed this year with Brat and Charlie XCX. That is what is considered world building these days. And you put that side by side with what Doom was doing with his projects from album to album. It's a joke in comparison. I mean, just the depth. It's about the depth. I think the depth and the degrees of imagination that you can bring to each of those projects and those characters is just operating on a different level.
Doom was definitely profound. He was deep. He was not like a surface thinker. He liked to go really deep. Think about how many times Doom has made a reference in his song about something like I Omega flash drive. I bet 99% of the people don't even know what an I Omega flash drive is today. Because that was one of those things back in the early 90s. They used to have these things called zip disks.
Yeah, I remember.
And that's what you stored like any type of Photoshop stuff on, on an I Omega flash drive. It's like it's just his references are so deep that you kind of want to like, what the hell is he talking about?
We grand slamming and never bystanding, and pussy MCs we abandoned.
Fluent from all styling to rag shit with jet lag, where brothers specialize in ways how it's not to get bagged. Egads, I bring confusion like roll call to MCs. So-called hoes be like, yup, I told y'all. So socialize, my bio show I dip, dive. Memorize like I Omega zip drop.
You do research. So it's like Doom is one of the few artists that actually makes you do research and read a book. To me, that's priceless.
I'm glad we landed on this, actually, because I wanted to talk to you briefly about language. I mean, here's an interesting thought for you off a YouTube comment that I found. Doom has the most diverse vocabulary in the history of rap. Discuss.
I would agree. Not just the vocabulary, but his references, the kind of people that he references in rhymes. Like, I've got to say, like, I've never heard of some of these people sometimes. Like, when he mentions Henrietta Lacks.
I need a handful of melanin, feeling like the lamb's wool beard on your tender skin. Might give you a shock initially as we reconnect up the flow electricity. The phenomenal melanin biopolymer, follow with a glass of Merlot, I could swallow her. Eat her up like a snack well, we could live forever like Henrietta Lacks cells.
You got to look up, who is this person? It's deep because this was a woman, an African-American woman, who had cancer, and her cells were used in like some type of research without her even knowing about it. In researching one line that Doom says, you come across this whole story, this historical story about discrimination and all of this stuff. And it's all couched in this kind of like quirky, kind of funny song. To me, that's the genius of Doom. He doesn't hit you over the head with stuff, with concepts or even with words, but he'll just slyly drop in a reference. And if you're curious enough, you're going to take the initiative and like research what he was talking about. You look on the website Genius, there's so many different interpretations for Doom's lyrics too. And that's another thing that he did. He didn't paint the whole story. He just gave you a couple little things that allowed you to paint the story in your head, coming from whatever perspective you're coming from. So you could interpret his stuff in so many different ways.
Moonbeam levels.
I mentioned in the book that he always used to travel with these, not just a thesaurus, but the Webster's Dictionary of Weird Phrases and stuff like that. He was actually a scientist in that respect. Being a writer, a wordsmith, he wanted to expand his vocabulary and use different words that not everyone else was using. And that was all to set himself apart. And it was so successful.
Yeah, Talib Kweli called him a non sequitur MC, which I found interesting way of putting it. So he's more concerned with rhyme schemes over consistent subject matter.
Yeah, I mean, you're hard pressed to find a song where he's telling one story throughout, It's just like little bits of stories, little bits of humor, and he just kind of strings them all together. And I was talking to people who knew Doom well, nothing is throwaway in a Doom rhyme. Like even stuff that you think might not even make sense, it made sense to Doom. It was maybe something that happened to him.
Do you have a favorite verse or a couplet?
That's virtually impossible. I mean, there's so many kind of zingers.
Come on.
I hear you. Let's go.
And now, the nations of the world, brought to you by...
It's way too fly, like the ecliptic is fun to see. Remind me of Hey You Guys, the Electric Company. Big Little Side ID, Willoughby, and silly me villainy in this ill-built soliloquy. Came through to do the do through the tube. To the groove and confuse your crew like Rubik's Cube. The metal mask, face mangled, purple cape. Found a way to smash the triangle through the circle shape. Faster than a team of apes, microphone bandit. Taller than the solar system, 9 known planet. Enough to leave your mind blown, ain't it? Keep an open mind, don't take things for granted. Damn it. MCs seem to be slushed out. They must be still got the wool over their eyes like mush mouth. It's like a gold rush in the south for the truth beyond shadow of a doubt.
It's the beat. You hear it in his sleep sometimes. Blare it in your Jeep so your peoples can stare at them rhymes. Real rhymes, not your everyday hologram. Even when ribs was touching, never swallowed the ham. He'd rather eat a sandwich salad. It might need salt like your man's bland ballad. A lot of stuff happens that the news won't tell yous. Blues on L juice, snooze all hell loose. Rake it, take it like the good, the bad, the ugly. Break it rolling through your hood in the caddy buggy. Butter softy, leather flossy, fatty juggy. Always threw me off when she told me daddy funk me. I'm like any who's seeds walking all out in the street without any shoes. I guess it's better than some funky socks. You need to get her some skips before she catch the monkeypox. Instead she wanna hear the beatbox. Take pills and make fake krills that sheetrock. Sing it, bring it back to your laboratory. While he's in his oratory, glorious like a horror story. The mask is like Jason. They told the place not to let the basket type case in. He could be some kind of wacko, waiting for the chance to heat the pipes like a crack hole. He busted in, blessed be the Lord, who believe any mess they read up on the message board. If so, I got bridges for the Lolo. Same bitch a go dry, snitch it to the popo. Here, orange peel stoves for the whole tier. Feel like I've been gone over a year, came home to old gear. It was the shit when I first scooped it. At least I get to sit out in New York and curse, stupid. Plead the fifth, sip wine stiffly. Patiently come up and be spiffy in a jiffy. Gift for the grind, criminal mind shifty. Swift with the 9 through a 5950. Well educated, he heard it when he meditated in deep data. Let her hate the creep plater. Dedicated cheap skater who keeps data. Say he stays self-medicated to sleep later. Side effects are similar to sugar pill. Whoever go next on the mic, he put a booger ill. And made his exit on some calm shit. Begged him on the regular for kegs of more vomit spit.
Favorite ladies. Mary, you made me wanna eat you. Every time I see you, it's like the first time I meet you. Fragrance like a flower, subtle and sweet too. Seductive and whatever, it might as well be see-through. Like my genie in a bottle. Bitch can get me rich, look like a magazine model. Before you know it, he have her on a stroll. Fresh and right, complexion like Acapulco gold. If I had to guess just right, not a day old. Like a cradle robber, copter off Shabba trailer load. Know the right number, you could get her. And hit it while you in a soul to the highest bidder. Like fruits and berries. Bring daddy loot in a hurry. Just be cute and don't worry. Type to make a nigga hallucinate and admit it. Then she started losing weight and letting everybody hit it. Unlike Allie, sometimes she get bitter. Always kept me happy, never had a problem with her. She used to let me use her back when I was looser. Respect her to this day and never did abuse her. I told her I'll be faithful, but she don't believe me. I probably could have been if I never met Evie. She make me feel all fuzzy inside, it's loco. You won't get nowhere's nearer if you're broke though. Kept a shorty mad, finding much thinner. If caught, I get mad time just for touching her. Knock wood, so much for Hymens. So fly, she should be in the sky with diamonds. Little young thing, she like to do the tongue thing. At times, she would play hard to get, fronting or something. She made me feel like the #1 king. Running to her now, and we'll still catch a fun fling. Met her out in Central Park, that's one sign. Had the guard mentally spark, reflecting sunshine. She said you need to stop messing with that white girl. She fucking with your head and got your heart in a tight curl. We messed around once or twice, but she don't know me. She helped me get money at the Dunce Price OT. Plus, she from Colombia, so she really Spanish. Cookie known to make a cat bank account vanish. And Miss Hazy, older woman, mature black. Every time she sees me, I end up getting told back. All she want me to do is blaze it crazy. The only one complaint is that she make me too lazy. Sugar mommy laced me with the butter navy AV. Just her way to make up for the headaches that she gave me. It's all gravy when I'm done getting my Mac on. Allie is always there to help me get back on.
I hope people will go back to some of his albums and some of his songs with some of the stories that I told in the book, and you'll have a greater appreciation from where he's coming from, when he was writing that.
Where do you think he is at his best lyrically? I mean, what are some of the tracks that you would revisit just to admire the lyricism?
I'll tell you this. He got better as a lyricist as he went on, okay? Technically speaking, because the whole alliteration, which is, having multiple words in one line that rhyme, to me, that is one of his biggest skills that he brought to the table, that alliteration. And you see that developed even much more towards the latter albums. And also the fact that he used to research all types of weird topics. I think in the first few albums, like Operation Doomsday and like Food, Viktor Vaughn, I think a lot of the material was made during that missing time that he was, not in the industry. So he had a lot to draw from. The later albums, I see more of a technical prowess developing. Like I said, the alliteration, the internal rhymes, really anything that you do consistently over time, you're going to get better at. And Doom was consistently working through his career, and he was consistently improving. So we see that.
I'm just wondering, beyond the fact that Doom and Madlib are widely considered to be at their peak when they made Mad Villainy, is there anything about the lyrical content or the tone that might be a factor in its popularity compared to his other work? Because most people consider that to be them both on their A game. I mean, Freddie Gibbs said this himself, that, you've got to be on your A game to really shine on his beats, on Madlib's beats. Otherwise, he's going to outshine you. And, Doom definitely came to the table on the album. It's probably most people's favorite.
Right. I think with Mad Villainy, there was a certain chemistry that exploded on that album when you get these two different creative geniuses together, especially in the same, maybe they weren't in the same room, but in the same house. These were guys who said that they basically communicated telepathically with each other. And I believe that because being a musician and a producer myself, music is the language that I use with other musicians and producers. So if I'm having a live jam with someone, it is telepathic. That's how improvisation is done in jazz. Musicians are having a conversation with each other through their instruments. I don't know how much Doom knew about Madlib, but Madlib was a huge fan of Doom's, so you have that respect coming into it. And you have this guy saying, oh man, when I get to work with my dream MC like Doom, I'm going to give him my best material. So, I think that's also another reason why the Mad Villainy album was as kind of seminal as it was.
Hold a cold one like he hold an old gun, like he hold a microphone and stole the show for fun, or a foe for ransom. Flows is handsome, O's in tandem, anthem, random, tantrum, phantom of the Grand Ole Opry, ask the dumb hottie, mask, pump shotty, somebody stop me, hardly come sloppy on a retarded hard copy. After rockin' parties, he departed in a jalopy. Watch the drop top poppy, known as the grimy, limey, slimy, try me, blimey. Simply smashing in a fashion that's timely. Mad villain dashing in a beat rhyme crime spree. We rock the house like rock and roll. Got more soul than a sock with a hole. Set the stage with a goal to have the game locked in a cage, getting shocked with a pole. Overthrow it like throwing Rover a biscuit. A lot of bitches think he's overly chauvinistic. Let go his dick if that's the case. Rats with a waist, there's more cats to chase. Dogs, he got it like new powers. Woke up broke, spit the shit in a few hours. Sheesh, been unleashed since the Glee Club. Had your fam saying please make me a dub. Well, since you asked kindly, where he been behind the mask, who can't find me? You're blind, in the wine zone, leave your mind blown. When he shine with the 9, he's a rhinestone cowboy. Oh, no, enough. Goonie Google, loony cuckoo, like Gary Gnu off Newsoo Review. But who knew the mask had a loose screw? Hell could hardly tell, had to tighten it up like the Drells and Archie Bell. It speaks well of the hyperbase, wasn't even tweaked and it leaked into cyberspace.
Couldn't wait for the snipes to place at least a track listing, bone print typeface. Stop for a year, come back with thumbtacks, pop for the beer. We're hip-hop sharecroppers, used to wear flip-flops, now rare gear coppers. He's in it for the quiche, you might as well not ask him for no free shit, capiche? Oh, my aching hands, from raking in grands and breaking in mic stands. Villain, the smile stun your chick, while he put himself in your shoes, run your kicks. You heard it on the radio, tape it, play it in your stereo, your crew will go ape shit. Raw lyrics, he smells them like a hunch, the same intuition that tells him spike the punch. Curses, he's truly the worstest with enough rhymes to spread throughout the boundless universes. Let the beat blast, she told him wear the mask, he said you bet your sweet ass. It's made of fine chrome alloy, find him on the grind, he's the rhinestone cowboy.
Sometimes they were comedic or relentlessly horrifying. They were the foes of society, whether fighting the local sheriff or a secret agent. Frequently, they mirrored our times, the gangster villains which rival real newspaper headlines of the present day. Collectively, they are the components which have fueled nightmares for decades to come. The villains.
They put so much into it, and then when the album was leaked on the internet and, you know, you thought it was not going to come out and everything, I think that both guys had put so much into it that they weren't willing to let this just go. We let it just dissolve into nothing. So, you know, Doom actually went back and re-recorded all his vocals.
I read, yeah.
I think that really made the difference in the long run, because there are versions, I think, on the internet of his performances beforehand, and it was nothing like, it was much more hype, much more fast-paced, just that laid-back conversational delivery that we all know of Doom on Mad Lib's kind of laid-back beats. It was the powerful combination.
It's so difficult to express.
Yeah, it's an abstract thing, you know. It's like it's totally abstract, because, like, think about the Mouse and the Mask album. You know, that was done with another huge producer. Danger Mouse was a huge producer at the time, or he was about to be, you know, with
coming off the mashup, yeah.
Yeah, and even though that sold probably more copies, that doesn't have the reputation that Mad Villainy has now, does it? That's one of my least favorite of Doom's albums, The Mouth and the Mask, because I think really the sound of it, it's a little too quirky, carnivalesque, a little too cutesy. You know, as funny as Doom is and as kind of random as he is, there's always an underlying darkness in his music. And I didn't see that, The Mouse and the Mask. They were much more catering towards a certain type of vibe, you know, because it was Adult Swim. They were trying to be like that.
We need food. What are you doing there? I'm rapping. Yeah. No, I see that. What for? Money. That, I want to get some steady bitches and hoes, and some candy for my nose, some diamond stones, to roll with my chrome. Hey, genius. You even know what that means? What does it mean? Where's the keyboards and the tambourine and the guitar? And, you know, I mean, the stuff that, like, white people like. You want a piano? Something badass. Like, I don't know, like REO Speedwagon or something. Yeah.
Hey, yo, I know this dude, right? Carl, he wore tight blue sweats but wasn't glued too tight. All he had upstairs was a crude light. You think that's weird? He lived next door to a food fight. Howdy, danger, much obliged for the beat guard. Even though you still eat lard by the meat ward. Mesquite charred, speaking of which or who. Voice all squeaky like they tuned it up a pitch or two. A chunk of burnt up witch's brew, get your crew. See if they can't get past the stench of the stew. It stank like a septic tank full of pig poo. He mostly only turned into a Frank or an igloo. Switch your view to the brother with the fried dreads, not to be confused with the incense selling tie heads. His name rhymes with Mike, cock. You could call him live wire eye sockets, Frylock. Able to shoot electricity through his eyeballs and blast all through your single-sided brick and drywall. More interesting than professional wrestling. When he's online, you can find him on instant pestering. What's up with your boy? He's not a soft or hot drink. Whoever don't like it could suck his straw. It's hot pink. On some junk like Gucci on a classy hoe. Might splash you in the face with nuclear pistachio. Make a fast breaker, that'll be the last mistake that ass to make. It's what you get for messing with Master Shake. Look out, don't block the screen, son, lunge across. Trying to watch Adult Swim, Aqua Teen, Hunger Force. Rock this cult hymn, sock your mean younger boss. Psh, Adult Swim, Aqua Teen, Hunger Force. He often wondered, should he get the logo tatted to his woody? He could be
number one in the hood, G.
Easily.
Yeah, Mad Villainy to me feels like a yin and yang thing. It's like, it's unbelievably imaginative and extraordinary in terms of its scope, but at the same time, it's so refined and it's so on point. You know what I mean? It's just down to the way he's delivering his syllables. It's just so precise. That's so weird. You can get those two things together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's an eminently listenable album, no matter where you're coming from. I could imagine playing that for someone who doesn't even like hip hop. They would say, wow, this is a great album, you know?
Moonbeam levels.
Doom and Dilla were in each other's sights, weren't they, in the early 2000s? Obviously, Dilla was straining to get on with his own projects at that time, while bouncing in and out of hospital. Why didn't we ever get the Dilla Doom project? What else was standing in the way? Do you know?
You would have to talk to the Stones throw people about that. I was unable to interview them for the book. Since then, I did reach out to Peanut Butter Wolf. And actually, I received an email from him about a month ago saying that he regrets not being interviewed for the book, even though I approached him, because there's stuff that he wanted to say about the making of that album. But, it is what it is now. I can't really... I think there was a lot of internal politics with probably Stones through the time. You know now that Wolf and Ethan Alpott, they're not friends anymore, and there's been lawsuits and stuff like that. So business always complicates
sours relationships.
Yeah.
Hey, he wants to get his girlfriend.
Go get your girlfriend.
Hey, and now you are going to dance like you ain't never danced before. Alright. Just wanna how you get the trash hash out the stash. As they say, ash to ash, jewels free rash. Fools ask a mask, need me, I'll be peeing in the pool, cause splash. You may feel a slight drizzle. Villain, give a squiller a candlelight vigil. Couldn't find a healer with a whistle in the line of sight. And he hold the mic like a fist full of dynamite. They wonder how he built the C-Note tower. All before 0 hour, his tree grow power. Then he goes sour to scour off the funk. And watch the so-called cop cower soft punk. The God is the artist fella you find. Paid to speak his mind like Father Jealous and Vine. Came to rock the banquet, rank it. Along with two of the baddest broads I stank with. Blank spit, Dilla raised the beat like an anchor banker. Overstand the super plays of heat. A shank a wanker. Drank a tank, I ain't stank ya. Guess what? Chicken head butts. Hit a rhyme on time like kicked him dead in the nuts. Oh, the victim had guts. Prepared to stick him, I'll flick him in the cut. Go, sell a spare truck of voodoo. Got it off wholesale, man, smug lose, spew. So, sell a bear truck of doodoo. Foes go to hell and it says suck a moo-moo.
For the
paper, hot like Sanka, top-notch ranker, clock my banker. Dead president, sick dudes, I'm the medicine. Storming in your residence when I'm in my element. No contest, I get hot and go unconscious. Your boy is automatic, now go play in traffic. The flow is graphic with no theatrics. Still rock sold out shows for practice. Call it a walkthrough. Deaf, the wrong one to talk to. Beef ain't nothing I can't stick a fork through. We break bread, eat good, and pour brew. Cheers, come toast to the one with respect to the utmost on more than one coast. GS, check the style I splash to make the listener wanna pile my cash. King of the hill, money is the issue. It's all on me, tell them bring me the bill. Daddy wore buck, shift gears in the armored truck. Like Big Daddy Kane when I warm it up. Fans scream for the two-man team. Doom and guilty, hip-hop supreme. The denim is blue, but the pocket's green. Big knots and jeans, you can't stop the king.
To me, that's why Mad Villainy was so successful, because it was more of Mad Lib and Doom were just connected here, third eye-wise. No matter what business was happening around them, it was their connection that brought that made that album what it was, you know? Mm-hmm. And you could say, oh, such and such influence, and, you know, such and such brought it over the finish line. But I think in that case, the politics behind it did not prevent that album from coming through, because it could have, right?
Yeah.
It could have. That could have derailed it many times. But I think that the artists themselves are the ones that really made that album what it was.
Well, one of my old bosses used to talk about creativity or art being an act of will. So there's a lot of barriers that get in the way of it being made. But I don't know, in this instance, it felt like the work had its own will, you know, rather than those two like generating it and being the driving forces. Sometimes art finds a way.
I'll tell you something. There's this thing called the third power. There's a concept that a friend of mine, producer Bill Laswell, introduced me to. It's
oh, wow. Yeah, no, love his work.
And when two creative minds come together, they create something called the third power, which is really beyond themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more powerful than either of the two of them working individually. So it's one of these abstract things. Mad Villainy is a perfect example of the third power in action. It was that album was destined to happen no matter what.
Clap your hands, say ho.
He's a little bit comedy.
And he's a little bit anime cartoony. Watch out now.
You're a Japanese hot dog.
Actually, I'm the giraffe and you's a California bear.
Together we have married to produce.
Watch that high note there.
Perfect hair. You are a hot dog, you know.
I don't know nothing about nothing.
Yeah, you just a Japanese hot dog giraffe, that's what you are.
You watch them out there, boy. I ain't gonna give you too many chances now.
Okay.
How important do you think Adult Swim was in bringing Doom to a wider audience? I mean, I missed his appearances first time round, but I watched a couple of highlights, and he really took to voiceover super well.
I'm not so sure this hamburger necklace is magical at all.
Wave it around out there.
Look, Adam,
wiggle it so. He's doing it wrong.
Fine. You happy?
Keep your finger on it.
Hey, that cat took my hat.
Swordfish is good. Yeah. Lightly seasoned swordfish.
First I get trapped in a hole with smelly animals who bicker, then my hand is severed, now I have to care for a drunk baby.
We can eat that.
Drunk baby.
Put some sauce on his face.
I'm afraid you'll have to find another place to live.
Oh, hang on. Baby's got a 12-pack.
Don't be stingy, pop the top, throw it up here.
I think Adult Swim was huge in the early 2000s just in promoting independent hip-hop, because it was not just Doom. There was plenty of independent artists who got on and got exposed through that channel. And you got to give credit to the guys behind Adult Swim and the guys who gave the green light for Doom to do all that stuff, because they were the first people to provide him with actual real budget. Beforehand, he was just getting like a few grand here, a few grand there. And they had the TV advertising that beamed Doom's music into so many people's homes, introduced him to a whole new crowd of people who didn't know about him before that. So I think Adult Swim was huge.
Obviously, after the partnership soured, they came back with the other project, didn't they? The Missing Notebooks Rhymes.
Right.
Did you hear anything on that suggested an album collaboration you would have loved to have heard? Doomsday with Alchemist is an obvious one for me.
Oh, yeah. That would have been great.
Step aside, boy. I'm checking that cash register.
In Lakesh, planetary kin, red overtone, dragon make your baratary spin. In the flesh with a band of merry men, innocent civilians Harry carry over yen. Is it the end or for pretend? I can neither condemn nor defend. Cash that's more pussy than a sanitary napkin bin. Villain ran a scam on his imaginary rapping friend. Again, shame on us. We in the same game, put the blame on Gus. Study till your brain vomit. Just don't be out getting muddy when it rain comets. Armpits of funk, a bomb in the hunk of junk trunk. Metal palm on your mom's badunkadunk. In a park, in a rave, under 3 days of darkness. Tell a hater behave and spark this. Winter fresh banana berry blend. Counting mad tons to when January begin. The other hand clutched to a pen. 24/7, much to his chagrin. Used to drink gin, now he only drink oxygen water. Mixed with shark fins to cleanse a toxin sorta. And if they ever come get me, we was sipping rum on the #1 jitney. I can neither confirm nor deny. On account of the sherm, all high. Villain make a squirm till a perm all dry. Sperm to a eye, to a worm, to a fly. It's germs, and mad babies to kiss. Won't stop rocking something, maybe take a piss. Or soak his feet in a mineral oil vat, holding a rodent coil in its tinfoil hat. Step aside, give him some room, player. Till the end of days, he be the ill doomsayer.
Step aside, boy. I'm checking that cash register.
There's some great tracks on that. The problem was that Doom didn't have the authorization to release some of that stuff, or and some of the beats he hadn't produced. So that kind of failed on the business level. But have you heard that Doom DJ Muggs track?
Yeah, I was listening to it yesterday, actually.
Doom would sound good on almost anyone. He's one of the rare MCs who could do that, who can just bring, because I've heard him on even on remixes and stuff like Bad, Bad, Not Good. He's just doing his thing and he sounds great.
They're carnivorous. They are not friendly to mankind. At least the ones that are here.
Are you saying carnivorous that eat humans?
Yes.
Body snatching, which is tons and tons, like I said before.
Beat the smooth grooviness of lyrical ooziness with scalding ash and pumice rock like Mount Vesuvius. The one that scorched up all the folks there, still frozen in the very poses when the smoke cleared. Raining fire, barbecue meat till it's mesquite off the grill, balled up in the fetal. They like them pickle and smoke, they're battered, deep fried up if it's a joke. It's on y'all to serve man the cookbook. Whoever don't find it too funny, then look. With clear eyes and skies and seasons are clouded. I wonder how come the graveyards ain't overcrowded. Know about it, missing children's and delicacies. Tender with the skin bone in many recipes. Fresh from out the oven, bruh. And what cut would you prefer, governor?
Their preference is children. And we've been told you shouldn't talk about that. There are other people say, well, you better not talk about it. Why not? They're responsible for 31,712 children disappearing in the last 25 years in the United States.
Vocals spill over like the chilling words of Jehovah or the cup that runneth. Let's keep it 100th. You're just in time for the world harvest. No matter if you're stinking filthy rich or impoverished. On or offline, they out to get that new white meat, the fourth kind. The plot thickens like a pot of hot chickens. Few choose to mix them with a lot of rotten pigskins. And get caught up in the rapture, led to the slaughter like cattle's off the pasture. Give them back their pieces, these bloodthirsty guards eat you like mac and cheese whiz. Devoured alive, adrenaline is hot sauce. Only thing could save you is melanin if you're not lost. Similar slaughter to Sodom and Gomorrah. Flee from out the horror and you might can see tomorrow. Wartime they snack often, baby back orphans. All was sent back from 2 tours was empty coffins. And here's your portion, fresh from out the oven, sir. Prepared, medium rare. Cheers, governor.
Why, aside from the carnivorous
Your local superhero from the hood. Iron Man stars got the good, not that good like Snoop. I bulletproof the coupe, polished up the suit and gather the troops. Got a brand new ray gun. Me and Doom headed down to the range to shoot in the matrix. Catch bullets with my hands and teeth, I break faces. Wild cop chasers, dawn of all ages. I saved the world, that's fucking history pages. My Wu crescent shines in the sky at night. Watch out, my eagle on my wrist take off into flight. All my might, bright glass teeth that bite. Ain't a bird or a plane, it's ghost in the mic. 2 hammers in a diamond blade sword. Thicker than the Ford F-150, niggas couldn't lift me.
As if, stance man stiff. Metal face doom, beware he bear gifts. Cab for the shift, overwork, overtime jerk. Beating worn, go for mine. In the dance hall, play the wall like handball till his pants fall. Crawl to last call, loose cannon, screw strip. Off the rip, this one for the gipper, get chipped. That nigga dig, don't tip the strippers. Phone bonds and mask, masks and slippers. You wear Starks, backpack of ammo. Warrior said, let your flags blow camo. These dudes is toys like Whammo. Damn, no chip paint, driving on the gravel with the Lambo. Blammo.
Maybe something is happening to me. I'm not dumb.
He's so adaptable to any type of beat, just any type of music, period. That's just how wide open he was and how skillful he was.
I wanted to go back to this idea of his versatility briefly and link it to his ambition. I mean, I was listening through his discography from something like Doomsday to Rhinestone Cowboy as Mad Villainy. Then you've got Lightworks on Born Like This, Astral Traveling as Czarface, and the double time rap on Banished as JJ Doom, and far, far beyond that. I realized just how far reaching his evolution was as an artist. I mean, his voice and tone are so iconic. It's deceptively cohesive. But when you really listen, these albums are very, very different. It's like Buster said, he found a way to be completely free on record and out in the world. I mean, has there been an MC who could compare in that regard?
I don't think so. And there's so many talented MCs in hip hop. You know, I'm coming from an era of KRS and Rakim and Big Daddy Kane, Cool G Rap. I think these were also people that Doom looked up to back in the day. But I really think that he's surpassed even a lot of his heroes because he took the whole concept of writing, he just took it as far as he could take it. And I don't think there's any other artist who's done that. You could say a Kendrick is an artist who has no kind of competition, but he's even kind of within the realm of hip hop. I think Doom, I wouldn't be surprised to hear Doom with a rock band or even different types of music. I think he was even going in that direction. I think he was almost fed up with hip hop towards the end of it. He's a one-of-a-kind MC. He's very skilled at production. But those are not the only thing that Doom was good at. He was also a scientist in that he researched a lot into esoteric subjects.
1 for the money, 2 for the better green, 3, 4 methylene, dioxymethamphetamine. Told her knock me, ghetto queen, get the head fiend. Tell him it's from Medellin and use oxyacetylene.
This is one of the things that I found out about Doom in doing the research of the book. I wish I could have spoken more about, but I would have really had to speak to the man himself. It's not really overt in his rhymes and stuff like that, but just conceptually, you can see the level of information that he exposed himself to. You know, he was into a lot of heavy subjects. I've heard him in interviews just like toss off certain things that people wouldn't know what he's talking about. Like he was studying how the right and the left hemispheres of the brain can be synced together. We have a right hemisphere and a left hemisphere. They both control different things, right? The left brain is more the logical brain, whereas the right brain thinking is more kind of artistic, creative. Doom was trying to figure out a way how to link those two. You know, he was into crystals. He was into astrology. He was into UFOs. I wish I could have really talked to him about those subjects because I think that was the stuff that really lit his fire.
Yeah, it felt like he was very obsessive about his interests, just as his fans are obsessive about him.
Yes, exactly. And I got that from certain people who were close to him. For example, Will Skeeping, who was his roommate in London when he first got stranded there, used to talk about how Doom used to watch all this really esoteric videos on YouTube. This is how he absorbs new information, you know? It's inevitable that it comes out through his rhymes organically. You know, it's nothing forced. It's nothing like, oh, I'm going to do a rhyme about this, about melanin. And then he writes this song called Winter Blues, you know? Doom actually had a reading list. He had several books. I might have mentioned some of them in the book. He would read these books like Rupert Sheldrake. And I think that just made it interesting to him.
It's amazing what you find in research. There's a guy that wrote an article for the University of Cambridge's paper. I don't know if he's done any journalism since then, but his name is Faiz Ghaffar. And he put it really well when he was reflecting on Doom's discography. He said the moral of his discography was to be yourself, which I found really apt because this is a guy that just was all about self-edification, right? And just developing himself and just pursuing your interests.
Developing his mind. Doom was a student of the universe and constantly learning. That's how we all should be.
Yes, yes.
Moonbeam levels.
How underrated was Doom as a producer, do you think? I mean, where is his best work away from the mic, particularly when producing for others?
If you listen to the Special Herb series, he's got some real amazing beats in there. Very simple, usually not more than a loop with maybe like some drum programming behind it. But, you know, that's hip hop. Hip hop is very simplistic shit. You know, it's like the thing about Doom is because he grew up and fully immersed in hip hop, has the broad perspective on hip hop. He's seen the evolution of hip hop production. He knows what time it is. The new stuff that he brought to hip hop production was being able to take something that's really cheesy and make it into a dope beat. Especially like all that sugary 80s R&B that he used to sample.
Anita Baker.
You know, early albums, he's able to somehow make that into something that you nod your head to. It was actually uncool to sample that stuff.
Super. 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 Super.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Geedorah write a rhyme in the time. He hollow out a flask, crack again and stout with his teeth one time. Swallow the glass. A pain in the ass to say the least. He came with many new techniques to slay the beast, while simultaneously saving the streets, bombing and calming the savage with above average beats. Get the cabbage in the most lavish sweets. Consummate marriages in between the middle of sheets. Provider of the victual eats. Try to be the illest dad a kid will meet. For the love of patter of little feats. It kinda gets you right here, don't it? Mess with mine, your life will be a nightmare, won't it? Left the night at home, I hope my lady don't own it. Doggone it, ain't even got no serial number on it. For God's sake, spare the guard the heartache. Mentally scar a smart snake before he start to fake. They love to hate him on a certain level, need him. Geedorah known to make a deal with the devil and beat him. Then proceed to sip a shot of vodka like methadone. The mic said to the headphone, we just wanna be left alone so we can get it on to an unknown metronome. Don't worry, Willie, get the zone. Crews best to get they chrome. Pay your overdue dues to King Geedorah, better known. Getting grown, trying to get on the mic, instead it's blown. Too many freaks, not enough circuses. Only a true geek can peep how much work this is. So put that in your blunt hole and puff it. Stunts at the gun show, y'all might as well stuff it. Or can it? Abandon ship, I'll miss y'all. And if they insist, beat them all like fistball. The news watch never stops. From the city it mocks. Who that on the idiot box? Well, if it ain't Geedorah, alert the media. Maker of the beats, that's a real hurt feeder. Sometimes he come through to let you know he see ya. Don't let him have to call Smog to head to toe graffiti ya. Just flew in from Dallas, and boys my talent's callous. And what's a girl like you doing here amongst the Allen's Fowlers? A cat in Wonderland who found Alice. G-her with the flows by the gallon or the chalice. Everybody wildin' out, trying to be the wildest. And refuse to acknowledge why the shit is so childish. 1 2 1 2 play, I wonder what they do today. Besides repeat their choruses more times than Confucius say. And start too many songs with Yeah, I hear you, soldier, I told ya, like no duh. It's King Geedorah, the no-ass getter. Still qualify as a world-class spitter. Shit the shitter, write a rhyme in the nighttime. Make a beat taste like wine, like a spike mine. And I heard it through the mic line. The crews don't even write rhymes. And I hope that they get much better. Yes, I do. I pledge that every day I rap. Know the ledge from every step. And I hope that they do get better. Yes, I do. Known to stack flows, back to back to back flows, like and now back to our show. In other news, people had enough of them other crews. Up they dues, snuff a fuse, cut a fuse.
Tape must be finished. Now what?
Do. Metal face. Do.
I got you stuck off the realness. We be the infamous, you heard of us. Official Queensbridge murderers. The mob comes equipped for warfare. Beware of my crime family who got enough shots to share for all those who wanna profile and pose. Rock you in your face, stab your brain with your nose bone. You all alone in these streets, cousin. Every man for theyself in his land, we be gunning. And keep them shook crews running like they supposed to. They come around, but they never come close to. I can see it inside your face, you're in the wrong place. Cowards like you just get their whole body laced up with bullet holes and such. Speak the wrong words, man, and you will get touched. You can put your whole army against my team, and I guarantee you it'll be your very last time breathing. Your simple words just don't move me. You're minor, we major. You're all up in the game and don't deserve to be a player. Don't make me have to call your name out. Your crew is featherweight. My gunshots will make you levitate. I'm only 19, but my mind is older. When things get for real, my warm heart turns cold. Enough nigga deceased, another story gets told. It ain't nothing really. Hey yo, done sparked the Philly, so I can get my mind off these yellow back niggas. While they still alive, I don't know. Go figure. Meanwhile, back in Queens, the realness and foundation. If I die, I couldn't choose a better location. When the slugs penetrate, you feel a burning sensation, getting closer to God in a tight situation now. Take these words home and think it through. Or the next rhyme I write might be about you, son. They shook, cause ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. Scared to death and scared to look. They shook, cause ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. Scared to death and scared to look. Living the life that of diamonds and guns. There's numerous ways you can choose to earn funds. Some get shot, locked down, and turn nuns. Cowardly hearts and straight up shook ones, shook ones. He ain't a crook, son. He just a shook one. 242. Yo, happy, definitely gonna say. For every rhyme I write, it's 25 to life. Yo, it's so much that got you trust, safeguard of my life. Ain't no time for hesitation, that only leads to incarceration. You don't know me, there's no relation. Queensbridge empty, don't play. I don't got time for your petty thinking mind, son. I'm bigger than those. Claiming that you pack heat, but you're scared to hold. And once the smoke clears, you be left with one in your dome. 13 years in the projects, my mentality is what, kid? You talk a good one, but you don't want it. Sometimes I wonder, do I deserve to live? Or am I going to burn to hell for all the things I did? No time to dwell on that, cause my brain reacts. Front if you want, kid, lay on your back. I don't fake jazz, kid, you know I bring it to your live. Stay in a child's place, kid, you out of line. Criminal minds thirsty for recognition. I'm sipping, E&J got my mind flipping. I'm bucking, dig 'em always out of hope for hustling. Get that loot, kid, you know my function. Cause I'm alive, I'm live illegal. And once I get on them, I put on all my peoples. React with lyrics like Max, I hit your dome up. When I roll up the beat, go sleep because of creeping. Shook, cause ain't no such thing as halfway crooks.
Moonbeam levels.
And think about bringing all the cartoon stuff in there. I mean, there's some really dope shit that he accesses from cartoon samples, like from the Scooby-Doo, some really kind of dark minor chord type stuff you would never expect to find in cartoons, but he was able to dig it out.
Moonbeam levels.
Play the games that I win at and stay the same with more rhymes and its ways to skin cats. As a matter of fact, let me rephrase. With more rhymes and ways to fillet felines in these days. Watch the path of the black one, super villain. He reps clubs and dealt in the drunken stupor chillin'. Ready and willing to inadvertently fall that plan of any rhymer, whiner or spoiled brat. Who got more snottier flows and snotty nose and holds mics like he knows karate body blows? Nobody knows the trouble I see from the MPV fly dirty tailing the bubble I-30.
It's funny you mentioned Will Ski thing earlier. There's something that you quoted in the book which really opened things up for me in terms of thinking about Doom and his mind. He said the thing about Doom is he gave you certain things, but he didn't articulate everything. What he gave you was access points to understand and bring your own interpretation of what he was saying onto his work. So everyone projects onto Doom whatever they want, and that part of the magic. Can you expand on that a little bit and just add some context?
You're hard pressed to find a Doom song where he's talking about one thing all the way through. He kind of switches things up. His kind of method was doing these couplets and kind of stringing them together, but it's almost like an economy of verse with Doom in that he doesn't need to say the whole idea. He'll just drop a couple words or a couple key phrases that'll give you the whole complete idea of what he's thinking. Or it'll make you research it. And then when you research it, a light bulb will go on in your head and say, oh, okay, this is what he was really referring to. But like I said, like everything with Doom, it's a mystery. He's doing a lot of work to put these songs together. So he wants you to do a little bit of work too. I think that's what a lot of people appreciate. He challenges the listener. Even just doing interviews with people, I've seen that people have made connections that I didn't even make when I was writing the book, because like I was so maybe focused on one thing, maybe I didn't make some bigger connections. But that to me is a beautiful thing because I'm not here to tell you that I'm the expert on Doom, that I know everything. I just wanted to put together his life in one place so you see what an interesting character this guy is and the trials and tribulations he had to go through. Maybe kind of use Doom as an example in your own life, because we all face challenges in life, and it's all based on how we react to these things that ultimately matter. You know what I'm saying? So Doom had everything taken away from him, But at the same time, that led to his reinvention and coming back almost larger than life as MF Doom. And to me, that's an amazing inspiration that anyone can take into their own life and say, wow, this guy was able to do something and really live his dream. You know what? I can do that too.
This information in different strands might be available online on the internet, but you've done the legwork to put it all together and to connect the dots and to also leave space for people to put themselves in this story, to find their own place in the story, right? Which is, it's as great an introduction or like a second course as you could have on Doom, wherever you are in his journey. So I think you've done a really, really good job. Was there anybody else that you would wanted to have spoken to?
Jasmine, his wife. I did write her a very heartfelt letter, and I sent her the first author copy of the book that I got. I sent her. I would have loved to speak to Grimm. Grimm didn't want to speak to me for this. I would have liked to speak to Big Ben Klingon, who was Doom's hype man, sometimes manager, traveled with him a lot.
What was Grimm's response to your approach?
He was kind of like, oh, if the family has nothing to do with it, I'm not going to partake in it. You have to respect that, because Doom inspired loyalty in the people who are close to him, and they're just basically expressing that loyalty to Doom. So you can't be mad at that. And that says a lot about Doom, doesn't it? That he engendered such loyalty in people that even when he's dead, they're not going to speak about him because they knew that the supervillain was a private guy and everything was on a need-to-know basis.
Well, as it stands right now, I think you've written the core text, right? So it's now the job of everybody to go out there and study, do their own follow-up, listening, reading, and I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. I've done a hell of a lot in the past couple of weeks since I finished the book.
Good. I hope you go back to the whole Doom catalog because, there's...
For sure. Yeah, I have, and I'll continue to, and then I'll disappear down loads of different rabbit holes and wormholes because there's a hell of a lot of fun to be had down them places. Thank you so much for being so generous with your time. There's only one other thing I wanted to ask you, and that's like, what is happening with your Gen Next book? The Passages from the Pathless Travel, your compendium of travel stories. I found it, researcher, man. It's out there somewhere in an interview. You mentioned it.
Well, that's going to be the next.
Beautiful.
Like each chapter takes place in a different country. Because, I've done a lot of things in life too, but never really experienced success. But regardless, I do my thing because that's all I can do. I'm a creative guy too. I have a lot of different interests. Food is one of them. I have a cookbook coming out.
Super. Well, this is kind of an exclusive then. We don't know when it's coming, but it's coming.
Yeah.
Would you like to choose the final track? What would you like to hear?
I kind of do have a favorite Doom track. It's all caps.
There we go. All caps when you spell the man's name. And everyone takes that really seriously. If you stray online, hundreds of comments, all caps, man, all caps.
The book, it's all caps, all the way, man.
Yeah.
So nasty that it's probably somewhat of a travesty having me. Then he told the people, you can call me your majesty. Keep your battery charged, he know it won't stick, yo. And it's not his fault you kick slow. Should've let your chick hold your sick glow. Plus nobody couldn't do nothing once he let the brick go. And I know that's a bunch of snow. The beat is so butter. Peep the slow cutter as he utter the calm flow. Don't talk about my mom, yo. Sometimes he rhyme quick, sometimes he rhyme slow, or vice versa. Whip up a slice of nice verse pie, hit it on the first try, villain. The worst guy, spot hot tracks like spot a pair of fat asses. Shots of the scotch from out the square shot glasses. And he won't stop till he got the masses. And show them what they know not through flows of hot molasses. Do it like the robot to headspin to boogaloo. Took a few minutes to convince the average boogaboo. It's ugly, like look at you, it's a damn shame. Just remember all caps when you spell the man name. Like a poet, like my baby doll. I bet she tried to say she gave me her all. She played ball. All bets off. The villain got the dice rig. And they say he accosted the man with the sliced wig. Allegedly, the investigation is still ongoing. In this pesky nation, he got the best con flowing. The pot doubles. Now they really got troubles. Madman never go like snot bubbles.
You have been listening to a Moonbeam Levels special with S.H. Fernando Jr., author of The Chronicles of Doom, unraveling rap's masked iconoclast. It's coming out on the 7th of November on Faber Books. Get your copy, celebrate, study, dive deep.
Moonbeam Levels.